Just finally today, of course, we discussed it a little bit earlier, inflation has jumped to a 41-year high. 11.1% is the number released this morning. Let's analyse this now with our business and economics editor, Liam Halligan. And just getting below the numbers here, what is driving this inflation?
Well, a lot of people are saying it's about energy prices, and of course it is about energy prices. But if the government hadn't implemented its energy price cap, Tom, keeping the average household gas and electricity combined bill at £2,500 a year, then inflation would be much higher. Rather than 11.1% in October, the Office for National Statistics calculates inflation would be 13.8%.
Wow.
From October 2021 to October 2022. It's food that's really driving this, particularly for lower-income households who disproportionately spend heavily on food. Food price inflation, Tom, over the year to October 2022 was 16.5%. That's all about fertiliser costs linked to the war in Ukraine. It's also about energy prices in terms of petrol and diesel, which agricultural industries use a lot of. And there's some talk today that inflation has peaked, that this is the highest it will go and then it will start to come down. And so then the Bank of England may not have to raise interest rates so much. I'd really like to tell you that I think that's true. Yeah. I really would. We're all really worried about the cost of living. You and I talk about it all the time, rightly, but it doesn't actually make for particularly entertaining listening, does it? I'm not sure inflation has peaked, and I'll tell you why. Just finally, a number you won't have heard in the mainstream media, 19.2%. What is 19.2%? Getting down into the fine print of this ONS data, 19.2% isn't the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, it's the PPI, the Producer Price Index. The costs that producers themselves are facing in terms of their raw material, labour, across a whole host of different items. When producer inflation is 19.2%, right, which is a 45-year high, then we've got a problem. And I don't like to say this, I don't think inflation's peaked yet.
No, and I suppose that producer inflation, that means that some of those producers are almost delaying their price increases, taking on debt, for example, to keep prices lower.
If breweries, we're all complaining about the price of a pint, right? You and I were talking about it just the other day while having a pint. If publicans were passing on the full cost of their increased costs in terms of fuel, energy, heating, and the price of beer, given barley and grain costs, would be at £10 a pint. And, of course, that would be completely unsustainable. So breweries, they are just one industry. The whole hospitality industry, mainly smaller firms, they are absorbing these costs.
Wow.
Firm profitability is going down. This is what inflation does. It slows the entire economy.
Really, really crucial context there. And, of course, context as well for tomorrow's fiscal statement.